Good morning, friends. Happy Tuesday. This is Mrs. Johnson with the story of the day. And since it is Black History Month, we are going to be reading a story all about Jackie Robinson. And this story is going to tell you who he was. And it's called I Am Jackie Robinson by Brad Meltzer. So let's find out what happens. I'm Jackie Robinson, and if you look on the front cover and on this page, you might be able to tell what Jackie Robinson did. This is a sport. What do you think the sport is that he played? There's a bat and a ball, and there's a plate, and there's a umpire. If you said baseball, then you're correct. Jackie Robinson played baseball. Sometimes it was hard to be brave. My mother was brave and she liked brave people. When I was born, the youngest of 5 kids, she even named me after someone brave. His middle name will be Roosevelt. Jack Roosevelt Robinson. Why Roosevelt? After President Teddy Roosevelt, he fought to make sure Black people were treated the same as everyone else. But having a brave name doesn't make you a brave person. In fact, as a kid, I didn't like sleeping alone. I used to sleep in my mom's bed. Even when she tried to bribe me, I wouldn't leave. So his mom gave him a brave name, but sometimes he was scared. Is it okay to be scared sometimes? Yeah. Just have to figure out what to do. One of my scariest moments came when I was 8 years old. I was outside and a girl from across the street called me a terrible name. I was so mad I yelled a name back at her. Her father came running immediately. He didn't like that. A Black boy was standing up to his white daughter. We were the only Black family on our block. I don't remember who threw the first rock, but the fight was on and they started throwing rocks at each other. Is that a good choice or a think about it choice? That's a think about it choice. I had a good arm, but no one wins in a rock fight. Eventually, the girl's mother came and broke it up. Like I said, the world can be a scary place, but even as a kid, there was one thing that always made me happy. Sports. And winning at sports. Okay, 2 things. I love playing everything. Baseball, football, basketball, soccer, marbles, dodgeball. All the kids would get in a circle. White, Black, Hispanic, Asian, we all played together. The rules were simple. If the ball hit you, you were out. They weren't mad at me for winning. They appreciated the skill it took. Those childhood games were some of the only times I wasn't judged by the color of my skin. And that's not nice to judge people by their color of their skin. We have to all love each other and be kind to one another. Just like we learned in Kindness Week, we're all kind to each other no matter what. Still, that didn't make all my problems go away. At the local pool, you could only go swimming if you were white. If your skin was Black, they locked you out. And how do you think that made him feel? Look at his face. He's sad that he couldn't go in there just because he was Black. That's not nice. When people complained, they gave us one day each week, Wednesday. Every Wednesday from 2 to 5, they opened the pool for anyone Black, Mexican, or Asian. And there's Jackie, and he looks kind of sad. So how do you win when you feel like you're fighting for the entire world? My mother, who worked as a maid, showed me the answer. Back then, we were so poor, sometimes we only ate 2 meals a day. To help us out, every Saturday night, the local bakery would give us their leftovers. And the milkman, back when milk was delivered to your house, would give us whatever extra he had. That's so kind. That's being kind and helpful. We weren't the only ones struggling for money. My mom took the extra food and shared it with all of our neighbors. That's how we became friends with everyone in the neighborhood. It was one of my mom's best lessons. When you do something good, it brings out the good in others. And that's a great thing to do. Even when people aren't being so kind to you, even if you're kind back to them, it brings out the goodness in others, and it shows them to be a kind person. Plus, the more our neighbors got to know us, the more they realized just how much Black and white people were alike. Sports, especially baseball, is something that he loved. As a teenager, I could run so fast. A local reporter noticed that in nearly every single game I stole second, third, and home at least once. In college, I became the first UCLA student ever to letter in 4 sports at the same time. So Jackie Robinson in high school, he played baseball, football, basketball, and track all in 1 year. He was an amazing person at sports. But the same problems kept coming. When the college newspapers wrote an article about me, one of my own white teammates purposely smashed into my leg, trying to injure me. So he tried to hurt him because he was black, and that is not nice. He was mad that the article said something nice about a black person. Then he went into the Army. By the time I got out of the Army, it still didn't matter that I was one of the best athletes in the country. If you wanted to play professional sports, you had to be white. So he loves sports, and how do you think it feels that because he was black, he wasn't able to play those sports? I think he would feel sad, right? Back then, if you were the world champs, it meant you were the white champs. In all Major League Baseball, not a single team had even one black player. Oh, and did I mention that if you were on a black team, the pay was worse, the food was worse, and sometimes the only place to sleep was on the bus? But that was all about to change. Thanks to a man named Branch Rickey. Rickey was the president of the Brooklyn Dodgers, one of the most popular baseball teams ever. With so many players fighting in the world too, Rickey had a plan for filling his team. After searching across the United States and the world, he said it's time to do the right thing. And what do you think he's going to do? Branch Rickey found me. I'm Jackie Robinson. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, he said. I think you can play in the major leagues. How do you feel about that? Can I handle it? There's no one on our side. No owners, no umpires. Loads of players and spectators will yell at you. Pitchers will throw baseballs at you. But no matter what they do, if you get angry, it'll look like you can't handle it. Mr. Rickey told me that he knew I was a good player, but he wanted to know whether I had the guts. So he's saying it's not going to be easy if you're going to be on this team because people aren't going to be nice to you. But do you think you can handle it? Do you want to do it? Let's see what he says. On April 18th at 27, I was given my shot at Roosevelt Stadium in Jersey City. I played my first official game for the Montreal Royals, a Brooklyn Dodgers farm team. You better believe I was terrified. I didn't want to let people down. I went to bat and I was thrown out at first. The next time I came to bat, in the 3rd inning, there were 2 men on base and the pitcher decided on a fastball. I can still see it coming chest high down the middle, but this time, crack! He hit it. When the ball finally landed, 340 feet away in the left field stands, no one could say that a black man can't play as well as a white man. Someone called it a home run. Others called it history. So he did so well. So he was finally able to play on the team with the white people. That afternoon, in 5 at-bats, I hit and got on base 4 times. I stole second twice, and I scored 4 home runs. When the game was done, I couldn't get to the locker room because I was so mobbed by fans. Black, white, young, and old, even the folks rooting for the other team, they were cheering for me. Still, that didn't mean it was easy. Pitchers threw fastballs at him. They tried to hit him and hurt him just because he was black, but he just did the best that he could do. But I never let it stop me. We were all playing together. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic. Baseball opened up to everyone. In life, people tried to scare me. They wanted to stop me. They wanted to make me go away. Why? Because I was different. Each time I wanted to fight